Guys, sorry, it's Pope Leo.
My name is Deacon Chris. I was ordained as a deacon in December 2025. I'm placed in a parish in Corby, and I'm due to be ordained a priest, God willing, on the 20th of June 2026. Jesus Youth Priests have a specific calling to serve the church through the charisms entrusted to the movement by the Holy Spirit. And this is very important because movement is not an organization or a company in that sense, but an ecclesial reality that was inspired and founded by the Holy Spirit. The priests support the spiritual needs of the movement, especially to cater to youth, young adults, and families.
So I was born in Mangalore in South India, and I was raised in Dubai for a few years, and I moved to London along with mum and dad. So I'm the only child in my family. I was brought up in Walthamstow in London, so Holy Family Catholic School was the name of my school. Made great friends, but of course, due to its nature being in London, it was all gang culture, and my school particularly was, as they say, in the hood, you know. In terms of faith, I wasn't really there. Faith really didn't make sense to me. Catholicism, Christianity, the whole aspect of one God, three persons, church, none of that made real sense. And because it didn't make sense, I kind of drifted away from faith. Parents are very devout, even now, they're super devout, the holiest people I know. And that meant that even in our family, that was kind of manifested. Every day, my dad used to wake me up at like 5:15 or 5:30 for like family prayer. And that was very important in the house. So my mum and dad would wake up, I would wake up, and I would have no idea what we were saying, but you just say it because it's a family prayer. So they were very devout, and that was kind of inculcated within me. My mum was very instrumental in kind of teaching me hymns at a very young age. So after the rosary, I still remember we used to have a hymn book from Dubai, and we used to sing these hymns, and my mum used to teach me these hymns. So my mum's rule was Sunday at Mass, I had to altar serve no matter what. Every day, 7 o'clock rosary. So these two things were kind of shaping me, even though I wasn't aware of it. It was shaping me, and it was providential, because I think all those kind of spiritual exercises and disciplines helped me to kind of, you know, become who I am. Even though I wasn't in faith, it all kicked in later on when I was brought to the faith. Music was something that was always in me. So during my teenage years, I started kind of producing music as when I was 12 or 13. And yeah, so I started producing music. When I was about 15, 16, I started DJing because I loved even the music that I was listening to was hip hop, and had a lot of DJs, so I wanted to be like one of them. And so I started DJing, and sound engineering kind of came later on. But all of these were just because I loved music and they were my hobbies. But I took music production seriously. I made a lot of money from music production. I think made enough to buy trainers every week and buy, you know, clothes branded, that too, very often. It was only until I kind of discerned priesthood that it no longer became a priority. As you discern your vocation and priorities change, and it slowly kind of takes a back seat. It's this great parable of Jesus kind of saying, you know, when you find the parable of the great pearl of great price, you find it and then you go back and you sell everything that you have because you found something that's more important, that's more like a pearl or diamond, you know. So yeah, when you kind of encounter Christ, the rest of it just becomes secondary or even way low down the priority list. And I think that was the same for me. When I was 13, I think because of the place where my friends were from, and because of gang violence and all of that, one of my close friends, best friend really, was stabbed to death. And we were supposed to go to the cinema and watch a movie, so he called me and I was like, yeah, let's go. And yeah, he never turned up. And so then I got another phone call saying, oh, he's been stabbed. And then I went to the crime scene, and all I remember was just blue lights and, you know, the police marquee. And then I just saw him, and to that horror, that was the first moment I was kind of frozen. And at that point, it really struck me as to like where is he now? Like, what is life? Like, does he have a soul? Do we have souls? Like, if he has a soul, where is he now? Is he in heaven? Is he in, I don't know, hell, purgatory? And all of these questions, like philosophical questions, were just kind of coming out of me. I remember going back home and not even being able to process all of it. I couldn't eat, I was really frozen, couldn't really speak to people, and it had a massive impact in my life. And so these questions were just kind of coming from within. I never found answers, but I think these questions were kind of instrumental. I had a lot of anger, a lot of grudges, didn't really know where to go, what to do. And I think for the rest of the 4 years until I encountered Jesus Youth and the movement and the church, it was just with me, you know. 3-4 years into my loss of my friend, and I was really lost, you know. But I was decent at football, and so one of my close friends called me to a football match, and I was like, yeah, why not? I was kitted out. And I remember, like, we traveled by train. I was about 16, 17, traveled by train, and then walked a few steps from the train station into this house. But I walk into this place, a lot of young people praying. So that's the first time I'm seeing young people praying. And I was really inspired by that, because I thought young people, like my friends, were not into faith, you know. So I walk into this room, people are praising and praying, there's beautiful worship music going on. And my first thought was, whoa, what's this? My second thought was, where's football? After the prayer meeting, we had like a 10 to 15 minute kickabout. But in that prayer meeting, a few leaders of that prayer meeting kind of took my number in, my phone number. And so back in the day, I used to have like 3 phones, like, you know, burner phone and all of that. So I gave them like my phone that I would never kind of use on a regular basis. But they constantly used to call me and ask me like how I'm doing and what my prayer life was, and if I'm keeping well and stuff like that. And I felt like, why are these guys calling me, you know? But in a second thought, my second thought was, if they're calling me and asking how I am, there must be something genuine about it. And it continued, like they used to continue to call me for a good 6, 7, 8 months to prayer meetings. And I used to just go because they used to nag me. So honestly, I was like, oh, it's calling me again, let me go. So they invited me for a retreat. So that's when things changed, yeah. We're all kind of called to community. Like, we're not called to be lonely and, you know, be on our own. But I had friends, but it did not bring me fulfillment. You know, it was more of, I've got friends to kind of satisfy my desires quickly in an instant. I had good friends, but they were good because whatever they did was just for a momentary thing, you know. But I realized that in Jesus Youth, like the community aspect is just so beautiful. And the fellowship of a prayer meeting, what is that? That's just like family, you know, where you feel you belong, you feel you're kind of loved, you're nurtured, your faith is stimulated and taken care of, and your spiritual needs are kind of met in a community. I continued to go for prayer meetings for like the next 8-9 months, I think. And then they all invited me for a retreat. And I was like, I've got no idea what a retreat is, but it sounded like a good residential holiday. But I went there. I remember it was held in London. The first 2 days, it was a 3-day retreat. The first 2 days I was messing around, got no idea what they were talking about. But the third day it was adoration. And during adoration, I was so young, I kind of stayed at the back because I didn't want to go to the front. I wasn't, you know, I had not experienced Christ yet, so I was just still reluctant in my faith. And I stayed back and I saw a lot of young people in the front, and they were just praising and worshipping Jesus in the Blessed Sacrament. The music ministry was behind me, and the person who was leading adoration was behind me, and this person was saying like, surrender your life to God, and you know, God will take care of you. But I had no idea what that meant. I didn't know what surrendering was. Like, what does surrender? How do I surrender my life? Like, do I say things, or do I physically do things? I had no idea. As the leader was kind of saying, you know, if you find it difficult to surrender your life, just say the words, Lord, I surrender my life to you. And I was like, okay, fair play, you can just say it. And I said these words, you know, God, Lord, if you exist, because I wasn't even sure if you existed, if you exist and if this means anything to you, like, I surrender my life to you. And I remember at that moment, like, there's something happening in me. I don't know what it was, but I just closed my eyes and I just went into tears, and I was weeping and crying, and I was weeping. And so I don't even know why I was crying, but I was weeping, and in an instant, I just had like a vision where I was lonely in an island, and there was a person dressed in white kind of coming towards me, holding my hand up and walking a few steps forward. And then I just opened my eyes and I could just see me and the Blessed Sacrament, and the Blessed Sacrament just staring into my soul. And for a moment I was like, whoa, that was powerful. And I looked around and there was no one there. And it was just me and Jesus. I was there on my own for like a good 25-30 minutes, and people had packed up and gone away. And they saw me crying and all of that, and they had just gone, and I had no idea. A profound moment of conversion. That was the time when I think I experienced the person of Christ. And that was very important, because God then was no longer like theology, just theology. He wasn't just ideas and, you know, it was just a personal kind of a loving embrace of God the Father, and the experience of Jesus within me, and the Holy Spirit like in me, just kind of helping me understand in a very like small ways, like there is a God who loves you, and whatever you've gone through is not the end, but there's a new life that's going to be laid ahead of you. After I finished my A-levels, I did philosophy and psychology in Maryville, which is an institute in Birmingham. It was a distance learning course, and at the same time I was working in London, and I was working in a hospice because my mom's a nurse, and she was like, oh, you know, you need to experience life, like, you know, because she works in palliative care and it's all about end-of-life care, and she was like, oh, you know, you need to experience life, and you know, you don't know what's out there, and you're just cozy in this world and all of that stuff. I was working in administration, but I was also dealing with patients in a very subtle way and their families. So a lot of people would come in, and it's a very sensitive time in their lives, because, you know, it's their last stages of their earthly life. And So it brought a different perspective to the fragility of my own life. It was a Catholic hospice, and so every day there was Mass. And so I used to work, and during my lunch break, I used to just go to the chapel where I used to go for daily Mass. And I kind of fell in love with Mass and adoration, because it was during adoration I experienced God. And so daily Mass became like a habit, and it fitted in with my daily schedule. Worked for 4 or 5 years. My second year, I kind of received the Eucharist, came back, and I sat down, and suddenly, like out of nowhere, this thought of priesthood started coming in. And yeah, I didn't really want to get distracted with this thought of priesthood. But one day, I remember going back home. My dad used to watch EWTN on a regular basis. And as I was going past the living room, I saw a Franciscan friar on EWTN. Massive beard, scruffy looking. But there was something about his message and the way that he kind of, spoke that captured me. And I saw at the bottom, Franciscan Friars the Renewal. I looked them up, and it was about 20 minutes away from home. I didn't even know they were there. But I remember going and visiting this friary in Canning Town. Just knocked on the door, and then a priest opened, and I said, "Hey Father, do you have a couple of minutes to chat?" And then broke it down to him. I said, "I'm getting these thoughts of priesthood." For the next couple of months, he became kind of a spiritual director, kind of helping me out, directing me, helping me to really understand what is going on within me. And then at the same time, I told 1 or 2 people within JY who were really close to me, who I used to go on a regular basis to pray with. I kind of spent about 4 years trying to understand this call to the priesthood. I had no idea what priesthood really is, apart from priests. I didn't have any idea about religious priests, diocesan priests. So I was looking at all sorts of things. I think after 2 years of wrestling with this whole idea of priesthood, I realized if this was my thought, it would have just faded away. But because this thought is growing stronger, and I'm kind of getting a deeper conviction to this, maybe it's God. And so I kind of surrendered myself. It was very difficult to kind of, let go of things, especially some things that are very dear to you. But in the movement, we've got this beautiful training program called Full-Timership, where it's, you have 30 days training, and then you have a year-long formation. You're sent to a place for a lifelong commitment. And I attended one of these trainings because someone told me it would be beneficial for my discernment, to take it as a year of discernment. So I was placed in Uganda, in Africa. And that year was really formative to kind of make a decision about priesthood. I came back and I was like, oh yeah, I think it is certain that the Lord is calling me. I just need to take this forward. And I think for a very long time, I had this calling of working with young people, young adults in some way. And I didn't know how that would look when it came to the Franciscans. In a very small way, I knew how that would look with Jesus Youth, because the charism of Jesus Youth is to work with young adults. When Jesus Youth Priesthood came into the picture, I was kind of discerning with it. And then there was this, in kind of prayer, there was this deep conviction that, within the movement, there were so many people who helped me. I was lost as a young adult. And within the movement, people helped me encounter Christ. And maybe as a priest, I could be of service purely to young adults, bringing them, giving them a platform to really encounter Christ. And so in prayer, I just felt maybe Jesus Youth Priesthood is what the Lord was kind of putting into my heart, a deep desire to work with young people. And I really believe in the spirituality, the mission, the charism of the Jesus Youth movement. And I felt very close to the same kind of calling that I had. So I said yes to Jesus Youth Priesthood at that time. I did not go into this with 100% clarity, but I went with conviction, and along the ways things were opened up and unraveled so as to see the light. And providentially, people ask, oh, how do you know it's God's will, blah, blah, blah. You can never 100% know this is God's will at this point, I don't think. But I think you just take a step forward and you journey, and then you look back. And once you look back, you really know, like, this journey is beautiful and this has been a God's will. And you also listen to God's voice, because in prayer, when you spend time in silence, when you spend time in praise and worship, you're familiar with the promptings of the Holy Spirit. And once you're familiar with it, it's easier to know the Lord's voice, and you just go with it, It's an exciting journey. All these doubts, fears, all of that is very exciting. Of course, not at the time, but when I look back at it, it's joyful. This is a special year. I'm very special. It's a very special year. None of this was planned. When you look at the grand scheme of things, I feel like God knows every moment and He plans it out, literally, like a jigsaw puzzle. He puts things in places, but it requires us to cooperate with it. Like when I joined seminary, I did not say, okay, if I join now, in 8 years, it will be 25 years. And so let me join this time, this day. I had no idea if I would even make it day one. I got ordained a deacon in the Jubilee year of the church. And I'm getting ordained a priest in the Jubilee year of the movement. And none of this was planned. But it's beautiful how the Lord kind of rewards the movement in a way, and also to me, just also as an assurance of, this was all me, It was all God. It was all God. God's just like, it was me. I did these things for you. The movement started in 2001 in the UK. And I'm sure when they gathered together, they didn't know 25 years down the line, they're going to have an ordination of a JY priest. They didn't even know it would last 25 years. But as we take each day walking with the Lord, He rewards us for our kind of faithfulness that we have to Him, to His church. So there have been many milestones in the movement, JY as a whole, international, but also in a UK context. So 25 years, there's so many people who've just experienced the Lord because of Jesus Youth. If Jesus Youth wasn't in UK, the amount of, I wouldn't have experienced Christ. I don't know where I would have been. So I feel like Jesus Youth in the UK is just providential. Me being part of Jesus Youth is providential. Me being ordained I think it's like a great gift for the church, for me, for the movement, that we can now kind of celebrate this Jubilee with an ordination of a priest. A priest is not for himself. It's really for the building up of his kingdom, for the tireless work that the movement has done. The Lord has rewarded the movement with its own priest, so that we have more workers in the vineyard, anointed workers in the vineyard. Not only priests, but also people who are anointed to really go out and to build His kingdom.